Welcome to Soul Rising. We're your hosts, Amy and Erin. We're two everyday mediums who are passionate about taking the woo-woo out of spirituality and bringing it down to earth. So put the kettle on, grab a chair, and join us. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 11 of Soul Rising. I am Amy.
Welcome. And I'm Erin. We are your hostesses with the mostesses.
That's right.
So we've never said that before, but that felt right in that moment.
So today we have a special guest. This is a special episode, something that we've been planning for a few weeks. We have a guest here, and we're going to do a live reading on air, which is a first for Erin and I in this context. So Erin and I have both done, impromptu kind of spontaneous live readings on our own social media. So I think we're kind of comfortable with being on the spot in that sense, but doing it like this is different. So our guest is Melissa.
Hello.
Thank you so
for
much.
Having me. I'm so excited.
We just want to thank you so much for agreeing to do this. It's very special that you did, and it feels very aligned that it's you. So neither Erin and I know too much about you, Melissa. Like we were just chatting off air. Neither of us have read for you before or even interacted that much with you. So that's a good thing because we don't have anything about you going in.
Yeah, no knowledge, and we're just going in like a blank book, just with totally fresh, which is always nice, because I think both Amy and I don't ever want to know too much information, right? And so I think that's what we say to folks when we give readings. Don't give too much away. Just a yes or a no is fine. So this is exciting.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. Yes.
Yeah.
I have not had a reading before. I have seen on Instagram, I think I've seen, Erin, one of your lives for other people that you did.
Cool.
Amy, I don't think I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't done one since probably November. So it's been a couple months. So maybe that's why. But time for another one soon, I guess.
There you go. That's the sign.
That's a sign. I should do another one soon. I used to do them when the pandemic first started. I was doing them every 2 weeks. But that was also, I was a year into my business at that point, and I was really just trying to show people what mediumship was. Because I think that's really important to both Erin and I, that we, that's the whole purpose of this podcast, is to bring spirituality to the mainstream and take all the misconceptions and the woo-woo out of it, right? Certainly there are some spiritual people that are woo-woo, and that's who they are. And if that's aligned with who they are, great. But neither Erin and I are like that. We're pretty much everyday regular girls.
We're pretty earthy mediums.
Yeah, it's funny because we literally are all earth signs. Erin and I are both Capricorns and have heavy earth in our birth charts. So So we're ready to go, I think.
Yeah. We'll explain a little bit, I guess, about just the process and what to expect. I usually I'll take a deep breath. I think Amy and I will just probably bounce off each other. That's what happens anyways when we do live readings together. She says something and then I finish the sentence, or vice versa. If you see me looking down, I've already been sort of jotting some notes that have been coming through. So I'm just scribbling and writing things out as it comes. So that's all that I'm doing if you guys see me looking down. Okay. I think, I don't know, should we say who we sort of felt was coming through first? And then go into it?
Yeah, but I just, if it's okay, I just want to take maybe 20, 30 seconds, because this is your first reading and it might be the first reading that others are witnessing. I just want to quickly talk about, usually do this at the beginning of a reading, when I'm doing a one-on-one with somebody. What is energy? Or what we're doing, what are we doing? What's mediumship? Yes. So just really quickly, I and Erin are somebody that both feel like we're very energy sensitive people. A lot of people are, especially people that are interested in this kind of stuff. It's probably a sign that they too have some sort of intuitive knowing or could develop into doing more. I'd say 85% of my clients that come through to me are energy sensitive. So that's a thing. So if you're listening, you're probably like, okay, I think I might be energy sensitive too. It's kind of like being an empath. It's kind of just kind of having this sense of knowing things, feeling things, being able to read a room, knowing when somebody's maybe like, not the right person for me, or, oh, like I'm really drawn to this person. And so for me, and Erin, if you have anything to add to this, you can. Energy is everything. Like, our world is made up of energy. So like all of our thoughts and our feelings, our behaviors, everything that we do, think and feel has like an energetic ripple. This is how you can explain things like manifestation, the law of attraction, those kind of things. So when somebody is sensitive to energy, they can pick up on energy around them. And mediumship is taking it a step further and being able to interpret what the energy is saying. So my belief through like the readings that I've done over the last 4 years is that when we pass away, it's just our physical body that passes away. And the energy of what made us remains. And somebody that does this work just can connect to that, because the energy is here. So a medium is never to make a connection, it's to validate an already existing one. I want you to know that's really important.
Oh, that's so well worded, Amy.
It's really important for me to know.
Really,
because I don't want anybody to ever feel like, oh, I have to come to a medium. Certainly, I feel like a medium is a good first step. Some people will say that Erin and I are like seed planters. So we will open the door to something and then you go. But never to be like reliant always on somebody that does this work, because you have this connection too. We're just
here to validate.
Yeah, we're just here to validate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And confirm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's true. Thank you, Amy. That's very important.
You're welcome. Yeah, because some people are like, oh, like, what are you doing? What are you conjuring up?
True.
Nothing. It's already here. I'm just connecting with it. I'm just giving it a voice. That's all.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Erin, you want to get started? I got massive goosebumps, but I feel like maybe I'll lead it over to you for a moment.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I'm just going to take I don't even feel like I have to take a deep breath, because I think we were just talking and I feel like the energy is already here. But Melissa, I don't know if you have a grandmother in spirit, because that was the first energy I feel like who came through. And I think Amy also felt like there was an older woman coming through as well. I'm just, all of a sudden, I'm just hearing lots of giggles, giggle, 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 giggle. Okay, so I don't know if this grandmother was like always laughing or just like always happy. Okay, hang on. But first, I'm just going to ask you, do you have a grandmother that's passed away?
Yes.
Okay. Would this be on your dad's side of the family?
Yes.
Okay. And does the giggles make sense to you? Like,
not kind of.
Kind of. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. All right. So the other thing I say to folks too, if it doesn't resonate, that's okay. Don't worry, you don't have to take it, but we give it to you anyways, okay?
It makes sense. It wouldn't have jumped out at me, but it makes sense.
But it makes sense because I just feel like she's also finding this very interesting, okay? Was she also very intuitive? Would you have known this about her?
Not sure, but I feel like it wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise. She's just showing me like tea leaves, okay? So it's making me feel like either, I don't know if she read tea leaves or she was intuitive, if that's what she's trying to get me at, okay? Does the 18th make any sense to you as a date? Is there a birth date?
I'm not certain off the top of my head.
That's okay. Okay, I'm going to give that to you. One sec. Let's see if I can describe your grandmother a little bit more. She's also bringing through, I feel like, an older gentleman that's with her. I feel like this would be your grandfather, okay? Mm-hmm. He's very opposite to her, okay? He feels, I don't want to say stern, okay, because that's not the word that I would use, but he's just a little bit more serious, okay? In his, like, I feel like his facial, he's just coming in and he's like, okay. You know, he's just very, a little bit,
Let's do
where
it.
Grandma's like giggly and excited. Grandpa's like, all right, yes, we're here. You know, what would you like from us? Like very, I feel like I have to be very, maybe specific with him. Okay, hang on. does like a boathouse make sense to you, or cottage or lake?
Yeah,
Okay, would they have had a cottage?
they lived on a lake.
They lived on a lake. Okay, thank you. That's good enough for me. Okay. Did they have a boat?
I'm not positive.
I don't know what to do with this boathouse. Like I don't know if there was just like a built-in boathouse or something that would have been one. But I'm gonna throw that out to you. Do you have a sister?
No.
No. Okay. Oh. I feel like there's a female that I hang on want to say hi to. Do you have children, Melissa?
Yes.
Do you have two children?
No.
No. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure what to do with that, but that's okay. I can't get away. He's just saying I want to say hi to this other female, but he's not giving me a lot more information than that. I don't know if you're picking up on anything, Amy. But okay, hang on. Is there a hang on? Is there a George or a male with the letter G at the beginning of their name?
We have a son whose name starts with G.
Okay, that's good enough for me. Okay, thank you. Okay. I feel like I want to say hi to your I don't know if it's your children or your kids, okay? I feel like I want to say, or your son. I feel like I want to say hi, okay? A second here. Do you write?
I used to write more than I do now, but I liked writing.
I feel like you have beautiful writing. He's saying skilled penmanship. Okay, that's what's coming through from. I feel like your grandfather. Okay, do you work out? Have you been working out more?
Not recently. I lost some weight, but
who's doing that? Is somebody working on their arms specifically?
Well, my two of my kids are. Yeah, the boys have been. They were just recently like. We put pictures of them doing that.
Okay, just recently, like specifically with the arms?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so I love that. That's very specific, right? And that's validation, that's confirmation, all those little bits that they give us that they're still around, that they still see. Okay? Because remember we were talking, I want to say hi to your kids. I want to say hi, okay? And so then they're showing me the muscles with the arms, okay? Does your son have curl? Is there a curl to his hair?
One of the boys has a major colic right there.
Okay. I don't know if it's in the family because your grandfather's making. Okay,
it is.
Like it is,
and it's extreme. And the kid that has it looks very much like that grandpa and my dad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Lovely.
Beautiful. Okay. Okay. Hang on. Amy, do you wanna jump? Is there something that I feel like I'm supposed to go to you now? I don't know.
Okay, I'm just going to take a moment. So I was just listening, kind of like I was seeing it in my mind's eye, but I wasn't picking up on anything different yet. But I will take a moment and just ask them to come to me.
Do you have something that belonged to your as a necklace from your grandmother, or a locket? Is it a locket specifically?
Not a locket,
but it's an
okay. That's okay. It could just be her way to get me to necklace, okay, or like a piece of jewelry. Is there a birthday coming up in February or end of January? No,
Okay. January 20th is my dad's birthday.
Okay. Just a second here. And is your dad, has your dad passed or is he still living?
He's still living.
Okay. Right. Okay. Because this is on dad's side of the family. So I feel like I want to say happy birthday to him. Okay. Because it definitely feels like there's a happy birthday coming through. Because it feels like there's a birthday coming up. Okay. Is there a Peter or a Paul in the family?
No.
No, that's okay. I'm going to leave that. Let me see here. They also keep showing me a skating rink. I don't know if that has any resonance with you right now. I don't know if the boys like to skate or if they play hockey. Okay. But I feel like I'm seeing something about like this ice rink. Okay. That they're bringing through. Your grandfather, is there something, did he pass a heart related condition or something in the chest area?
Not a heart related condition, but he got in a car accident and he was very like a lot of his ribs and lungs like
this is the chest
passed
feeling.
he was very
I'm so sorry.
like,
That's
rattly.
Okay, because I'm just feeling a pressure on my chest.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I feel a pressure on my chest, that's either telling me there's the passing was related to the chest or the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's important to know that it feels very quick for whatever it's worth. Okay, feels no pain. Okay. Now, did your grandmother pass after him?
Before him.
Before him. Okay, that's okay. Gosh, your grandmother's so energetic. It's so funny when I can definitely tell who is who because grandma's coming in and she's just excited. Okay, she's dancing. She's very happy to be here. Did she pass? I guess if she was if she passed before him, but were you just like really little, like a child, like little?
No, not little.
I
felt like she was bringing up memories of childhood. Like that's what I had. So I don't know if that's what you're picking up on, Erin. Yeah.
Okay. Just a second here. I don't know if there's a photo of you, Melissa, pushing a stroller, okay, with like a little like baby doll in it. I don't know if you can even remember this or if this was something, I mean, maybe, right? You might have had a baby doll, but I feel like I'm seeing this like pushing the stroller or you're with the stroller, okay? And it feels like I feel like I'm seeing you in a bit of a jumper, you know, like one of those like onesies, okay? I don't know, like Oshkosh. Like those like onesies. Okay. Like it feels like that's what I'm seeing. Like a corduroy.
That's exactly what I was just going to say, corduroy. With like, it's either a dress or overalls that have the little, you know, the little
I for sure
things.
had a pink corduroy.
Yeah, I was seeing that too. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. I love it.
And I played with dolls.
Yeah.
Grandma's and grandpa's.
Your grandma and
grandpa's. She had some that I always played with.
Okay. Do you remember if this is very specific, do you remember if one of the dolls was named Rose or Rosie?
I'm not sure.
No, that's okay. Your grandma's like, roll up your sleeves, get ready. There's going to be some big changes coming in. Okay? Good changes that I feel like you've wanted for a while. And then I feel like you've been working hard towards. Some of this feels career related. I also feel like I'm seeing some changes in the home. I don't know if you guys are thinking of moving, okay? Or if you're wanting to make some changes in the home, if you've been like wanting to like put money into something, okay? But I do feel like there's going to be some changes that are coming up. It feels really, really good, okay? And it feels like, because I feel like there's a lot of pressure. I don't know if you're feeling some stress from work or pressure on you from work. I mean, I know we all in some ways might feel some pressures or stresses from work, but she's saying there's going, I don't know if you're looking for a new job or if you're wanting to switch, okay?
I just got a new job and I haven't started yet. and it is something I really wanted, and I am feeling a ton of pressure right now, like a lot of weight on my shoulders, because I'm trying to set up the people taking my place for success before I move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe when you take this new position, that's going to be lifted. Okay. I mean, I'm sure you'll still feel maybe some stress because it's a new job, right? That's only normal. But I do feel like when I make this transition, it's going to open up a lot of things. And then they're also showing me like it's almost like a domino effect. Okay. It's like after this happens, a lot of other things are going to be sort of coming in. Okay. Because it feels like it's been a slow build up to this. Okay. And it's been happening for, I don't know if you're picking up on this, Amy, too, but it feels like it's been happening the slow build happens for a reason. And it's to create room for all of these changes that are going to come in really like almost fast. Okay. It's almost to prepare us in some ways. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. But that's the feeling. I just feel like things feel very narrow right now. It's going to open up, and I have space. I have space. Okay. Amy, I don't know. Do you want to?
Yeah, no, I was feeling that too. So I wrote down that I felt like this was a very necessary change. So I felt like almost a little bit like at a crossroads, like perhaps you were kind of in like trying to weigh back and forth options a little bit, or like, is this the right thing? Like, I just felt like there was a lot of overthinking around making necessary changes in some way. And then I also felt like this new job, this new thing is a fresh start. And then I saw ripple effect. Erin brought up dominoes. I saw ripple effect. So I do feel like, I feel like the last little bit's been like relatively challenging is how I feel. And I feel like they're saying like things have to fall away. Right. So it's almost like, do you struggle sometimes like with change or with like letting things change? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I feel like they're saying almost like there's some overthinking or like I'm just trying to hold on because things are uncertain or I don't know what's around the corner. And so it might have felt like things are changing kind of suddenly in some way. But this like the slow build is like the the things wanting to fall away, the shedding, and then it's like, okay, I just gotta let it happen. So I feel like there was some sort of a catalyst or some sort of moment in which you're like, okay, like I just have to surrender to this and allow it to come to me. And I feel like your grandmother's saying that that's a big life lesson for you. And I feel like she's saying you might reflect and look back on your life and look at times in which you kind of like held on too tight or resisted things. And that to use this experience and like as you continue into this new job and ease into it, I feel like it's going to be really good. And like Erin said, opening up things. And I feel like she's saying use that as evidence that when you feel kind of stalled or stuck, that's on the other side of it. So to let go of what wants to be let go of. But because by resisting, you're simply like saying you're okay with staying in that limbo,
Definitely something to work for. Yeah.
That's true. She's just kind of like, I know you can't see on the other side of the door, and that makes us go, like I don't know, right? Because we're safe over here, even if we're uncomfortable. But she's like,
I think there's been some like, what I'm guessing, there has been some push from people above me at work to go for certain positions.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel the timing was right, or I didn't feel it was the right fit. And so I was resisting those because I felt like I was following what felt right.
But that's
this
good.
Position came. Yeah. And so I kind of feel like maybe it has more to do with that.
Yes. Yeah, probably.
Like I was being pushed to do something and resisting it because I felt it wasn't right, and it worked out.
Yeah. And maybe that's, I know I always want you to trust like what you feel, if you feel it isn't right, but just maybe spend, like, be mindful. Cause I think sometimes we go, oh, like it doesn't feel right. But if we really sat with the feeling long enough, there might be some fear or there might be something underneath that's influencing it. So just be mindful of that. But I do feel like you made the right decision. I just feel like that wanted to come in as a way to validate, things kind of being challenging, like kind of being in that limbo place before we open the door and get to the other side. We're in like that uncomfortable space. And so often, so many of us get in that space and then we're like, oh, and we shrink back down to what it was before when we're like on the cusp of something really good. And most of us don't allow ourselves to have it. So she just wants you to know that, like feel that in your body. I felt her come in right away. I said to Erin before we connected with you, I feel like there's a grandma here. I got massive goosebumps. I also feel this kind of like joyful energy. So I do feel like she was quite a happy person. She definitely is happy in spirit. I want you to know that. Every time she shows me herself, she's in a kitchen. Okay. So I do feel like she would have spent a lot of time there. I don't know if that's her way to tell me that she was a homemaker or just that she like really enjoyed to like cook and bake and like do things, or if that was like the hub of the home in a way. But I do feel like she's in the kitchen. And when you mentioned she lived on a lake, Erin brought up a cottage. I was really curious if there was some sort of, if their home was rustic in a way, or if there was any like wood inside, because I got that kind of cottagey cabin feel too. And I don't know if she was just telling me that there's something inside that kind of looked rustic, or if there was like an old fireplace or something, but it just reminded me.
A lot of antiques.
Okay. Yeah. And Erin, I think that she was showing us the boathouse because I got that too. I think that was really just a symbol to get to lake. Or if they lived in cottage country or like a place where people like kind of do things on the lake. I feel like that was her way to say like we lived close to the water on the lake.
And they might have had a boathouse. I just am not.
That's
can't
okay.
remember for sure.
That's okay. It's all these little things, right? Sometimes we can't think of it right away.
Yeah, and it comes later.
That's why we give it to you anyways, right? Because maybe when we think on it, we're like, oh, wait, I know exactly what it was. Because it can be a lot, right? When we're trying to process all this stuff and we're talking maybe a mile a minute sometimes.
Yeah, I always say like sometimes it feels like an out-of-body experience when we're having like even when I have a reading, I'm like, okay, and then I have to watch it back or look at my notes because I'm like, okay, yeah, because it's almost like you don't hear everything in the moment. I know like it can be a lot, but yeah, I felt a lot of. So when she was showing Erin the stroller, I wasn't seeing the stroller, but what I was feeling was that she was a nurturing person and that you are a nurturing person. I think that she was saying that you've been kind of like this little mama ever since you were a little girl, and I feel like you just kind of were you or are you somebody that really loves animals? And just like, I don't know if you're like the kind of like, I want to bring this stray home. Like, I don't know. I just feel like she's saying you got this huge heart for, animals. And like, there's almost like this underdog. Like, do you know, like anybody who's vulnerable or innocent is like, you're just like, oh my God, I want to help so much. So
very much.
Yes, I definitely feel as if she's telling me that you're like a huge empath. Okay. And that you are somebody that's intuitive and kind of energy sensitive. And that people that need your help know that you're a safe person to come to. Okay. So I do feel like you might be that person in other people's lives that they come to for like a shoulder guidance. And that's great because that's your essence and that you're like, you really are a helper. In this lifetime. I also feel like you're energy sensitive with your hands. So I don't know if you've ever done any sort of like Reiki or if you've ever been interested in that. That's like energy healing with our hands. Or if you've ever been somebody that like, there's something about your touch that feels kind of special. So if you've ever been like, I don't know, just as a mom, if you're like giving your boys a massage or something, I just feel like there's something special with your energy in your hands. And that's a way in which you kind of channel this light in you. Okay, so if that's ever been something you've like been curious or wondering about, maybe it's on your radar, just keep it there. I think that there's something special with you in that. But she's wanting you to like, because you're such a beautiful, like, if there's an innocence about you and a very pure like spirit, okay, and you're definitely here to help others, but be mindful of your boundaries, okay? Because when you are like this, like Erin and I are like this too, right? Like that's what makes us, I think that's what gives you the extra little bit of something to be a medium in some way. Like you've got to have this loving kind of energy in some way where you really want to help the person. But because of that, you attract people that need that. But sometimes they can take advantage.
Right.
Okay. And so it's really like, it's really coming up for you to be mindful about your boundaries, that you can be a really kind person and also have boundaries. In fact, something that I'm learning myself from the spirit world and my own guides is that boundaries are an act of love for you and for them. And we don't think about it that way. We're like, oh, I'm being mean. I could help. Yes, but you're not supposed to.
It's
right. You trust.
Definitely something I've been more aware of, and
yes,
really trying to. And it is hard. It is a challenge, and I've been working towards that.
You're here to be impactful. Okay, you're here is like, it's like, I feel like you've got like a lot in one punch is kind of how I feel. But if you're being drained in all these different areas, the impact isn't as great. Okay, so that's kind of how I feel, what she's bringing through. So like, I want to tell you this. She's reminding me of this, and this is something that I've talked about. I don't know if I've talked about here, but I've definitely talked about on my own social media. When you feel a gut no, like if somebody's like, hey, do you want to help me move this weekend? And you're like, hell no, right? Not only are you meant to say no, the other person is meant to hear no.
Right.
Because maybe that's something they have to figure out themselves. Maybe we are taking away something from somebody that is a part of their life lesson, right? Or maybe somebody else was supposed to help. So she wants you to think about it in that way. Don't feel you're being mean by saying no. You can listen to that voice. You can be kind and take no crap. Because I feel like that might be a balance with you. You're so nice, is what she's saying. You're so nice. I feel like she might have been this way too sometimes. Erin, did you bring through that you thought Grandma was intuitive?
Yes.
I think she is. I think that's what she's telling me, because I think she's saying that she could have been like this too, right?
And I feel like that's why she's so also excited to be here, is because she's like, yes, we love this.
Yeah, I think that this is something that she might have been interested in, and like, I don't know. I don't know if she'd ever like explored it, but I definitely feel like it was something she would have been interested in. Where Grandpa's more like, okay, so we're doing this, like he's kind of like open, but he's like, maybe wouldn't have been somebody that would have been into this in his lifetime. Yeah, so I also feel like they're saying that there's somebody like brother in spirit. So did one of them have a brother in spirit, or do you?
I do.
You do. Okay, yeah, I heard brother in spirit very clearly. Yeah, so they're acknowledging that, okay? And I feel like they're saying they've got him. I've got him is what I hear. They're kind of like, I get him. Let me stay with this for a moment. Now, would he have passed as like, like not a child? Would he have been teenager, young adult, or was he younger?
13.
Younger, 13, okay. Was he like a real boy's boy? Like, I feel like there's like this, what am I trying to say by that? It's almost like when I'm seeing, when like kids play like different like cowboys and Indians, or like war, or like, I don't know. I feel like they're just showing us like little things that he might have been interested in. So 13 years, okay, he was 13. I don't know how long ago that was, but I feel like it was like maybe at the cusp or right around the time when people, like when video games were starting to come onto, was that around that time? Like, are we in the 80s here?
92.
Okay, definitely. Okay, so he's the same age as me. So I was 12 in 92. Okay, this makes sense for me because I feel like I was being shown like back in that time, like I'm thinking, so what I was seeing, now it makes more sense to me because I feel like this was right around that time in the late 80s and the early 90s when like, do you remember that game Duck Hunt? With like Nintendo? That's what I was seeing. So I was like, I don't know why they're showing me this gun. I know it's not a real gun. And then they said it's something to do with video games. And I was like, I feel like this is Duck Hunt, but like what time period are we in? Right? That's why I asked you that. Okay. And I feel like he really liked that or something. Like that's what he showed me. Okay. Because I was like, I don't know what this fighting is, right? But it's the video game. So I do feel like he's here with us.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was picking up on a younger male energy, but I couldn't quite pin down the age. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't pin down the age, but I hear very clearly there's a brother in awesome. Spirit. Like, and I knew he didn't reach like full adulthood, but I wasn't sure where he was in his teens. I also felt like Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Did you guys grow up with a dog?
Yeah.
Okay. Because he's just showing me petting the dog, and so I feel like he's with the dog. Okay.
That makes sense.
Do you also have a dog, though, that's connected to you that has passed as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is he a skinny dog?
Do you know what I see? I see like a medium-sized dog that might be like a lab retriever, that kind of size.
I feel like I'm seeing like, I don't know if this was a short hair dog.
I know what it is. I know exactly what
because he keeps like coming in and out, poking in and out, in and out. I don't know if this would also have been his personality too. Like ready to here, there, like everywhere. Like I know dogs are energetic anyways, but that's what it feels like. Very playful.
Yeah.
Is it multicolored? Was he a multicolored dog? You have like a spot on him?
I feel like there's more than one animal, Erin, and I feel like they're blending. Because I feel like the energy of more than one dog here. But for whatever reason, I personally see like what looks like a medium-sized dog that might have not necessarily super long fur, but like not really tight, like not really short either. And I feel like he's talking about shedding. So it just reminds me of like a lab kind of, but I don't know if
Cocker Spaniel.
Okay.
I know that. I know exactly what you're getting at here. I don't know how much I'm supposed to say, but it makes sense that you're bringing up the dog.
Okay. Yeah. And you can tell us at the end too, but they're definitely all together. Yeah.
Do you rescue dogs, Alyssa?
No, but I probably would if I could.
That's that like, remember they showed me like, you like just wanting to bring home all the animals?
Interesting because I wrote down zoo.
My husband calls me crazy dog lady all the time.
Like you would have a zoo.
Like dogs.
Yeah. Always talking to, yeah.
Okay, that's great confirmation and just validation that we're still in your energy. Like, sorry, Amy, I know I cut you off.
No, it's okay. It's okay. That's how it works sometimes, right? Like you just like, like they want to say this. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt like going into this, like I felt like the dogs would be brought up. I felt like if my brother was sensed, the dog would be part of it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's beautiful, eh?
Because he's so connected to that.
Yeah.
He's so connected to that. Yeah.
Were you guys like two peas in a pod when you were younger?
Not necessarily. I mean, like probably yes and no, siblings.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like he's saying he watched you grow up though. So were you the younger, or were you just like 1 or 2 years older? There's not a super big difference. I feel like he's saying.
I'm younger than he was.
Okay, so it makes more sense because he said, I feel like I watched you grow up.
Yeah.
I feel like I watched you grow up. So you would have been like just a couple years younger than him at this time. I feel like what he's telling me.
I'm 4 years younger than he is.
Okay, yeah. I was like kind of wondering about 3, so there we go. Okay.
Did he have glasses or do you wear contacts, Melissa?
He had glasses.
I felt that too.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I just see him putting on glasses and he was bringing it up again. Okay.
I felt that too.
Did he get bullied? Did he get bullied? I mean, I know kids can be mean.
No, I don't. He wouldn't have gotten bullied. Or if he did, he would have been able to
handle it.
Okay. Handle it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what he's showing me. Okay, that's okay. I can't totally make sense of it. I'm sorry.
I feel like when he shows me the glasses, he keeps showing me like, almost like, I don't know if he was kind of accident prone or if like he would have lost the glasses or somebody sat on the glasses, but I just feel like he's just showing me something like that. And he also keeps showing me, do you remember the movie My Girl?
Yeah. Very much so.
When she's like, his glasses, he needs his glasses. He can't see without his glasses. He's bringing that up to me and I feel like I want to sob. I don't know if that reminds you of him or if there's some connection.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because because that's what I saw. Like because he was like taking his glasses off. I think he was showing Erin that too. Like taking his glasses off. But then he showed me as if like, oh, and now they're there, or now they're hidden, or now they're somewhere else. And then I was like gone, oh, my head to toe goosebumps. And then it was like, showed me that scene in My Girl where she's like, his glasses, he needs his glasses. He can't see.
And my heart is like pounding.
So that makes sense. At the end, if you want to share why that's so, like, if you're open to that, I think that would be
sure.
Okay.
I will, because it's pretty
specific.
Yeah.
Okay. So he just like, I feel like he just loves you so much. And I feel, you know how those characters, I can't remember his name in that movie, but I know she was Veda. What was his name? I can't remember it. But do you know how they just loved each other so much? Yeah. Like they were Thomas. It was Thomas J, I think, and Veda. Anyways.
I think it was like the first book I ever read also, to be honest. Okay. I can't remember his name either, but
I think it's Thomas J or something like that. I think it was like two names together. But I feel like they were best friends, but just like loved each other so much. And Erin brought through this closeness too, like were you guys two peas in a pod? So I feel like almost he's saying like there was a lot, because at that age too, and as kids and him a boy, like you don't always express how you feel. But I feel like he's saying like, you were my best buddy and I love you and I have your back and I always have. Yeah. And I want to cry because he loves you so much.
I keep seeing that peas in a pod image. It looks very cartoon-like to me as well. And I feel like I'm seeing that, there's the peas and he's like the pea on top of you. Okay. I can describe it that way. But like wrapping you, and it's in love. Like, it's like, that pea image it's really interesting because it feels very metaphorical, in that the outside, that shell is the love that I feel like surrounds the two of you.
Were there just two of you or was there one more?
There's one more.
Okay, that's what I was getting, because I'm seeing three peas, him, you, and one other.
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
Yeah, there's three peas in the pod. That makes sense, Erin. Yeah.
That's what it is.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. There's three.
Yeah. I feel like he was just showing that like symbolically as the three peas.
That makes sense, yeah. Yeah, the two boys and me.
Yeah.
Is there a J initial with one of them? No, it's okay if there's not.
With one of the brothers? No.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Whew.
I feel like you're trying to get me a name, but I can't get it. Feels like I keep hearing John, but I don't think that's the name. Like it just feels like it's I don't know if it was a common name for the time. But anyways, don't worry about it. Don't tell us. Let's see if we can.
Names can be tricky, and mediums put a lot of pressure to get names, but they don't always come through. And like when we hear it, it's like sometimes we will hear like the last piece of the name and miss the first, or sometimes they'll like just give us
like John.
Yes, they'll give us like charades. But what really matters is like the specifics, like the other stuff, right? And I feel like Erin and I are especially clairsentient. Like I know that that's my primary Claire, which is like clear feeling. So they make me feel it, right? That's why I wanted to sob when they brought that up, because I could feel how he felt in that moment. Yeah. And how he feels now. There's a lot of pride from he's proud of you. He's proud of you. And I feel like you're the glue that holds everyone together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that feels like a lot of pressure sometimes.
Sometimes.
I feel like you're kind of like, you know, there's always somebody in the family that like is the one to get people together, or the one that like works out things, or the one is like the memory holder of the family that like likes to have the family albums and works on the family tree. And I don't know if those are things that you do, but I feel like he's saying you're that person in that your family. You're holding it all together. You're like the one. You're like, you know, like when we talk about our ancestors, he's like, you're going to be that ancestor one day that's like kept it all together. Are you somebody that does organize photos or family trees, or is that like something that you're interested in?
I'm not necessarily super organized, but I am interested in it.
And it's important. I feel like there will be a time where you have time to become more organized with those things, but just like hold on to them. I feel like he's saying like hold on to it, keep the stuff, and like one day you will have time to kind of put them in albums or organize it, because I feel like that's really important to them in spirit, that somebody's like holding on to it and documenting it for like the future people to come.
Does the month of April make any sense to you, Melissa?
Connected to them?
Yeah, like a birthday or an anniversary.
I was feeling something about an anniversary, perhaps, of somebody get married around Easter, or is there something about Easter?
One of our kids, one of my sons has a birthday in April.
Okay, I think that's it. Yeah.
And it has fallen on Easter before.
I think they gave me Easter to like cement it, like to clarify.
I love how they do that.
I love how they're working. They're working with both. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
My son's birthday falls
on Easter this year.
The day before Easter this year.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
They'll be there.
They will be there. Yeah.
They'll be there. They'll be there at your dinner. Do you still I don't know how old they are, but you still do baskets and stuff for them? For your boys? Do you still do that kind of stuff? Are they like not into that? Yeah. Because I feel like your brother is like kind of making me feel like he'll be involved in it, or like maybe he would have really liked the egg hunt or something. Like there's some memory with that, or he's enjoyed watching your kids do their egg hunts or whatever. But I feel like that's special.
That makes sense for sure.
Okay.
We had big egg hunts.
Oh, good. Yeah, it felt like more than
kids.
The average thing, right? Like more than just like hiding around a few eggs. Like it feels like a thing, like an event.
And he loved it.
Yeah, he does.
And I wasn't big on it, but he loved it.
He loved
it.
My kids,
or our kids have a big egg hunt also. Big egg hunt.
And I feel like he's saying keep it going even when they get older and they're like, Mom, still do it. Just keep doing it. Because I feel like they secretly will like always love it. Right. And that's part of that like family thing that you do, that tradition that you keep alive, and it is important, and it does make a difference. Even if you feel like, what am I doing all this for? Like, does anybody really care? Yes. Even if you don't always hear it, that you're appreciated and what you're doing is extremely special. It is, and it is appreciated. He's just like, you are such a good mom. Have you been with are you married?
Yeah.
And have you been with your partner for a very long time? Like a long time? Yeah. Like either like high school, college, like a long time.
High school sweethearts.
Yeah. Yes. I feel like he's talking about that too. And that I feel like your brother. So when we have somebody in spirit, you know, we talked about energy and how we interpret energy. Erin and I have had so much experience and practice interpreting what energy is saying and feeling and hearing and all those things. But it doesn't mean that everybody else isn't experiencing that too. So you have experienced him in spirit since he's been gone. And the way he's been trying to speak to you is through your thoughts and feelings. And also, like, so spirit uses our intuition to help, to influence, to encourage, to suggest. And I feel like he's saying he played a direct role in your meeting your husband, or like seeing your husband that way, or connecting you. I feel like he's saying, I, in my like wisdom, this perspective I have in spirit, I knew that you two were meant to be together. And so I just kind of like helped orchestrate it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that will be like helpful for my husband to hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels almost synchronistic. I don't know if you felt that way. Like, it feels like there was a series of
weird things,
possibly events or things that just happened
and kept bringing you back together.
It's just like, yeah,
kept bringing you back together. So it's influencing both of you. Yeah.
Does if I said birds or nature with your brother, would that make sense? Like, do you feel like sometimes if you see something in nature, it's a message from your brother?
Yeah.
Okay, that's valid. I feel like I'm seeing a specific bird, but I can't see what kind of bird this is. I don't know if it is birds. But he's definitely taking me to like nature, and I feel like I've seen just woods. I mean, I know it's winter right now. It is for us here, but I feel like I'm seeing, I don't know if I feel like I'm seeing it's winter outside. So I don't know if you live next to the woods, or if you're like, there's like a trail, like a nature trail really close to you. Okay. I just feel like I'm seeing endless trees that they're bare, and I'm seeing a bit of snow covering it. Okay. I don't know if this was like near the house that you grew up in, but this is what I just see, like endless trees.
I see something like that too, but I saw a bench. So I don't know if I feel like he's saying that when you sit outside or you're outside, you might be thinking of him when you're in that quiet solitude of being outside, or, like walking in the woods. But I saw a bench, so I don't know what that means. If you specifically sit somewhere outside and think of him. I also saw kind of what looked like a rocky edge and water, and this could be like somewhere in the woods, but I felt like there's a place to sit and like overlook the water, and that your mind goes to him, because our minds are so busy as humans that when our loved ones are trying to get to us and make us hear them, we're just so busy that in our minds that we're not acknowledging it, we're not recognizing it. But when we are doing something that's like solitude, right? So often spirit will bring up like, when you're in the car driving, I'm with you, because you're kind of in the zone and it's quiet. Or when you're going for a hike, or when you're sitting on that bench looking at the water, or you're at the beach, I'm with you, because you're in that quiet solitude zone. So I feel like whatever this place is he's showing is a place that you can go, and you either think of him or you get into that zone, and it's easier for him to get to you.
That makes sense.
So to seek it, if you want to hear him, go there and listen. It's hard to trust. I know it's hard. Erin and I will tell you ourselves, like when I try to connect, I think that my dad's in spirit. When I purposely try to connect with my dad, he's there right away. But my human mind, because I know him so well, goes, nope, you're just making this up. This is just a memory. You're just wanting this to happen. But when we're connecting with somebody we don't know, like you, everything that comes in, we can't attach to anything about us. So we just say it because we know it must be true. But just know, like, it is more difficult to trust with our own loved ones because you're so close with your brother. But when you set the intention, I'm here, I want to talk to you. I need help with this. What do you think about this? Anything that you hear or feel inside, like, because spirit, like, sometimes people get they think that when we hear their voices, we're hearing their voice. I don't know about Erin, but I don't hear their actual voice. I hear my head voice. And that can be confusing, right? Like, because they'll go, well, no, I was hearing my own thoughts. No, you weren't. So know that too. When you set that intention to connect to him and you start to hear things in your own head voice, it's not you. He just wants you to know that because he's there. He's there and he's like ready to talk and he's just like, I'm here. Like, listen. Yeah. And your body senses it. Your body feels it. Because I do feel like you're an energy sensitive person. So I do feel like you sense it. You just don't know what to do with it. That makes sense? Yeah.
I think I used to sense it a lot more when I was younger than I do now.
Yep. And it makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. And with like, you know, you have responsibilities, you're busy, right? And also this is something that you practice, right? Like, and you set the intent to do.
Yeah.
I also feel like maybe he's saying like you were extra kind of sensitive during pregnancy. Did you dream like really, or do you dream like very vivid stuff? Okay. I feel like he's saying, and this is common too, because our loved ones do, like in spirit, and just in general, our higher self, anybody in spirit will come to us in sleep, because our, like that logical part of our brain that's doing all the thinking and the interpreting and the analyzing is asleep. So we're just open to whatever wants to come through and we don't have a say about it. And that's what it feels like when Erin and I are channeling. We're not making stuff happen. It just is, like it's just playing out. So they're coming to you in your sleep too. And you can set the intention and ask for them to come.
I try sometimes.
Okay.
I do.
I know.
I know it's hard.
It's hard. Yeah.
I think it's just kind of like us as humans knowing like that everything happens in divine timing. So we can set the intention. There's spirit's sense of like time, like there is no time there. Time is here. That's how he can be with all three of us at the same time. Even if we were all on opposite parts of the world, he could still be with us at the same time. So things don't like always happen when we want them to, with spirit, because they're doing their own thing over there too, right? But they're trying to talk to us. They're trying to help us. And then one more thing I felt like he wanted to say. I feel like he's talking about you trying to like better yourself. Those are the words he's using. He's like, she's trying to make changes. She's like, really, something is clicked in the last little bit where you're like much more self-aware, even of like your mind-body connection. Because I feel like he's saying, because you're so sensitive that sometimes you can, I don't know if you've ever had like anything going on health-wise that you feel is directly related to stress or overwhelm, but I feel like he's saying you're quite sensitive that way. Mm-hmm. And I feel like something's clicked in the last little bit where you have started to see that connection more and take better care of yourself. I also feel like you might have a food sensitivity.
I'm not sure. It's possible.
Okay. So I don't know, what is he saying? I keep wanting to come back to dairy and gluten. So I don't know if it's both or one or the other. And I don't know if it's something that's on your radar. Like maybe I should cut back on these things, but I feel like something's bothering you inside. One of those things. Do you get anything about that, Erin? About either?
When you said intolerance, I just heard dairy.
I feel like there's something with dairy for you.
They were just showing me like oat milk or substituting milk for maybe oat milk or almond milk or one of those. So I don't know if it's like, if you've been noticing maybe lately, oh, that's weird, like my stomach's kind of gurgling or, something.
Do you drink a lot of milk or eat a lot of dairy?
Not for milk. Okay. They better not be telling me to give up cheese.
I just feel like I don't know.
That better be a joke.
I don't know what that is.
Somebody in your family.
Somebody might be sensitive to dairy, but
my husband is.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's him they're talking about, right? Somebody's sensitive to dairy, but I also feel like so maybe the gluten was for you. Does that make sense? Do you ever feel kind of like brain fog or like things get like any inflammation or anything going on in your body like that? Because I feel like one of those are for you and maybe it's the gluten piece.
possible. It's something that I will look into. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not like, we're not doctors, right? So we're not diagnosing anything, but like when something comes up about health, I just take it as like some sort of validation of something that might be on your radar, or, maybe it's just a matter of you going, okay, so today I'm eating blah, 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 and you notice that you're eating bread. And then a couple hours later, you're like, oh, like, something feels, it's almost like becoming aware of a link that maybe there wasn't before. And so maybe you're going to be like, oh, maybe that's because of that. And just to kind of like trial and see how you're feeling. I do feel like something about either dairy or gluten is bugging you in some way. Does brain fog make sense for you? Are you somebody that feels that sometimes? Yeah. And I actually think, because I'm somebody that gluten's been on my radar for a very long time, because I have an autoimmune disorder and gluten is not good for autoimmune. And I experience brain fog often. I haven't pulled the trigger and stopped eating gluten, but I feel intuitively like I've been told to for many years. Because I think in general, like, humans aren't really meant to eat as much gluten as we do. And I think our systems are just like bogged down in a way. So yeah, take that with as you will.
Yeah, only take what resonates, and leave the rest. I know we're
getting there,
close to time. I just wanted to jump in just with a few things that keep kind of coming back, and I don't know if this is for you, Melissa, or if it's for somebody else in the family. But your brother, the first thing was that your brother kept showing me a blue bear. I don't know if he had a blue bear, or if this is like something specific that maybe you can remember, or if you had this, or if there's like a memory there. But I just have to give it to you because it kept coming up over and over again. And it looked very specific, like it was a bear, and like didn't look specifically like a typical bear would, but maybe I called him Blue Bear or whatever this was. I can't really remember. I don't really know where he's going with it, but that feels very specific. The other thing that was coming through is that I don't know if you have an uncle, or if this is on your husband's side. There's somebody like an uncle that has passed. He's kind of he's like here. He's just kind of distant. He's not totally coming forward. But I do feel like he's around, and that just feels like it's confirmation that he's okay. And popping in to say hello as well. So I don't know whose side I'm on with this. I feel like I'm tall and maybe a bit slender. Okay. Maybe like average. Okay. That feels like it's coming through with him. And very hard worker, and he keeps showing me outdoors. So I don't know if that also makes sense to you, but I'll give that to you. Okay. The other thing is, I don't know how old your boys are, but I kept hearing Cornell University, which is like very specific. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if they're looking at universities, or if that's just been on our minds of like, where are they going to go? Is Cornell in New York or something? Is that?
I don't know where it is.
I don't know where it is either. But that was very specific, and something that I just feel like I should give you.
Maybe a future thing.
They'll find something. Like, I feel like something's going to come up. I don't know if they're into sciences or like experiments, because I feel like I've got a very sciencey, experimenty son. Okay, like I like the volcanoes, and I like to see it erupt, kind of a thing. Like, I love getting my hands messy and like that stuff. But those are just a few things that were coming through, and they keep bringing back spring. I don't know what is happening in spring. I know there's a birthday, but they keep going me back to spring. So
I think Melissa likes spring. Do you love spring? Is that your favorite time of year?
No.
It's Easter though. It just feels somebody loves it.
My brother passed away in spring.
In spring.
Okay,
That's another reason that he brought up the Easter and stuff too, I think, probably.
That makes sense.
That time of year.
I felt like I kept going to spring.
I feel like he loved spring though. I feel like he liked the springtime. Might be hard for you to validate, right? Because it's been a long time.
I feel like he probably loved all the seasons.
Yeah.
So it's hard to, like, he just loved life.
He just loved life. Yeah, he did.
Loved life.
You know what I was curious about, Erin? When you were talking about the blue thing, I kept seeing a Smurf. and I know that you didn't see it, like you didn't describe a Smurf, but I wondered if there was like something about a Smurf, like a stuffed Smurf, and I also wondered if like the uncle-y kind of energy that you picked up, I felt like that was connected to the grandparents in some way. So I don't know if it's like,
yeah, that came through too as well, that it could possibly be.
do those
Well, I didn't say it, but there could also be, I feel like, another uncle or somebody else
connected to them?
Connected to them.
Either like, do they have? Would your grandparents have a child in spirit? If not, then it might be like an uncle, like one of their kids' uncle, so like one of their brothers. But there definitely is something uncle coming in.
I can see a couple possibilities.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit tricky to pinpoint down.
He's just popping in to say, hey, like, yeah, towards the end, like, hey, I'm here too. Yeah.
Is there also farm in your family?
Is there what?
Farming?
Not currently.
Okay, but in the past?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Okay, because the uncle was showing me farmland as well.
I saw that too. He worked outside. Good. Yeah.
Or outside, because then it went to farm, and now it's coming back up again. So I feel like that's a way to try to like pinpoint who's coming through. Mm-hmm. Are you taking a trip? Do you guys want to take a trip somewhere? Do you love going to Disney World or something?
No.
Has that been? I mean, I know it's hard. We can't really go anywhere because of COVID. But I don't know if there's going to be a family trip, or if we're wanting to eventually make something happen, if it's been something in the back of our heads, because that's coming up again as well. Because I wrote possible trip down.
We've had something in mind, but it's not like
that's okay. Yeah, if it's not
our trip, it's within our state.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
But travel somewhere, like a road trip.
Like a road trip, yeah. Okay, because they also showed me like an old car. I don't know if you have an old Chevy. I feel like I was just seeing an older car. Could be your grandparents also. Like maybe, I don't know if this was their car. I also heard you need a new car. So I don't know if you do need a new car, if that's also been on your radar.
We just got a new vehicle.
Oh, you did? You just got a new one. Okay, thank you. All right, that's why it was new car. Okay, that's all. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay. So we're over an hour now, so we've kept you longer than we said, but that's what happens when Spirit gets talking,
I know, right? I'm so sorry, Melissa. And even Aida.
Oh, please don't be sorry. I'm so thankful. I could just stay.
We could too. Like we've done events before where we've read like 6 people and it's like 3+ hours, and we could still go longer, because when you're in that that feeling of connecting to Spirit and the love, it's like, I don't want to leave this. Like, this feels so good. And I think you understand that too, because you're similar to us in the sense of like wanting to help others and give to others, right? So if you're in the position where you can feel this good while giving, it's like, I don't want to leave that, right? So it's funny that we brought up boundaries, because for me, I'm learning to have boundaries with myself. Like, okay, Amy, I know you want to keep going, but you got to cut it off, right? That's something that I'm learning, but that's just a real life example of, I know it's hard to have boundaries when you are a giving person. I know it is, because it's almost like you feel so good by giving, but just be mindful of like your own energy. And I think even by like learning to give when it feels good and you feel that internal, like, okay, yeah, I can help, versus, no, I don't really want to, but I feel obligated, or I think they'll be mad at me. Even like just only helping when you hear yes, it will just, that will just feel so much better, right? Because when we're saying yes to something we don't want to do, even though we show up and we do it, like, we don't come with the same energy, right? Sorry about that. So I guess that's where we'll end, but I wondered like if there's any feedback you had, or if there's anything you want to share about your experience for people listening.
Yes. I mean, I don't know how much time you have or how much you want, but
it's up to you. We're good.
I'm fine for time. I don't know, Amy, how you're fine.
I'm fine for time too.
Yeah.
So the bear and the blue, I'm not certain what that is, but he was big into panda bears.
Okay.
And I have like one of his old ones.
Oh my God.
You're like, I saw something and I didn't say it.
Yeah, I'm going to send you the picture of what I saw. I used to have I called him Snuffies. I had an old, like a bear. It was in like that shape of a panda. Like it had just that wrap. I'm going to send you a picture of it. Anyway, sorry, continue. I'll show you.
So I have one of them. He's
and he was there.
Because of the blurred screen, you can't really see.
And he was there with you.
So that's one of them.
Right?
And he's always in my office. Well, since I've worked from home, he's always in my office.
That's probably why he brought you bear, Erin, and maybe the blue was just something else, and it just blended together. You put them together, but it was the bear was the message, not the blue.
Bear.
The blue was something
that's really cool. Yeah.
But it would make sense because, like, panda bears, like, he was really, really, really big into panda bears, and that's something that, with the glasses, this was probably, like, the biggest thing. That for sure, like, I have compared it to the My Girl
movie
with the glasses. So when he passed away, or I think he passed away instantly, but like at the hospital afterwards, like when our family first was like finally told, we were able to see him in the hospital after he had passed, and he didn't have his glasses on, and it was something I was super concerned about. And like in my mind, I wanted his glasses.
That's
and they
unbelievable.
Reassured me that they still had his glasses, and it was just something that I kept going to. That was like really, it was like the My Girl thing with his glasses, and that's I don't know if it was my way of hoping at the time because I didn't know. I was just concerned that he didn't have them on, and where did they put them? Are they still there? And they did still have them. And we still have them. He wasn't buried with his glasses. We still have his glasses.
That is such a significant piece of evidence. Like, what that tells you is that, it was only soon after he was gone, but he was aware in spirit in that moment that you were so concerned that he couldn't see and wear his glasses. Like, and also that after the fact, maybe as you got older, you're like, and you compared it to that movie, and you're like, that was like us. Like, I was feeling all that because in that movie, that little girl's so upset, like, where's his glasses? And that he knew that. So that's like evidence that he was there then, but also that he knows how you're thinking and feeling and what you're connecting. That's how it works, right? So when we think of them, they're like here. That just gives me massive chills because it was so specific.
That one was like,
there's no doubt, right? It's so like, what?
Yeah. So specific. And like, I don't have any doubts, but like, if I were to, let my older brother listen to this or whoever, like, that is just something specific enough that, like, there's no way you could have known that. Like, there's no explanation for that, like, with how specific it was and how big of a deal that was to me. And even growing up, like, you mentioned this or whatever, and I would sometimes, like, put them on or just hold them or go to them or whatever.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Wow. I mean, that's incredible. I'm so sorry for your loss, too. Melissa.
I'm very sorry.
But so appreciative of you being here today and sharing that with us and with everybody watching.
Yeah. Very neat. I couldn't have hoped for more with that coming through. Let's see. The woods, my parents have some land. And I know that's definitely where my oldest brother feels the most connected to him. Eagles, I think probably when you mentioned the bird. I mean, who doesn't kind of feel like a eagle is, symbolic or majestic or feels something when you see an eagle, but that's definitely what popped in my mind. We have a boathouse at my mom and dad's house.
Oh, it's probably that too.
You mentioned the, like, I forget how you described it, but like basically I was picturing the rocks around the lake because we do have like a rock retaining wall.
Yeah, I saw a rocky edge. I saw a rocky edge, so that would make sense. Yeah,
over water, you said. So that makes sense. for that house. Erin, I came back, I made a note of this because I didn't think of it at the time, and it still might not be, but you had mentioned the letter J, which could be a couple things, but it didn't really connect until you talked about dreams and how my dreams are kind of like, I'm kind of connected, and I feel like vivid dreams sometimes or make connections with them. Would Jeremiel make any sense?
I would say that's close enough for me. If there's a letter J, yeah.
A recent discovery that I had, just something that had popped in my mind, or an archangel, and I didn't even know that Jeremiel was one. It was just one of those things with exploring and different things that you brought up that I've been trying to do, and that I asked, like, who is my, who are you? I just asked for it, and that the name Jeremiah popped up in my head, and there's not a Jeremiah, but there is a Jeremiel, which I didn't even know. And, for the archangels, just in looking into it after the fact, I think Jeremiel can present as male or female, and also has something to do with being connected to your dreams, has something to do with comes to you the most in dreams, I think was one of the descriptions. So
that's really cool.
And I love that you shared that, because you connected that yourself with your own intuition.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what happens in readings. Like sometimes you get that very specific, like we did with the My Girl movie. And then sometimes it's like, I'm giving you this, and we don't get a lot of context with it, but we give it to you. And then you think, then whatever your intuition is like, that's what it is. Like it's also you being connected too. So sometimes we don't get like context with things, and sometimes we get a ton. And I always feel like, maybe the things we don't get a lot of context with are meant for you to discover or to piece together, that it's like a piece of your own intuitive development in a way. So I love that you use that example, that it came to you as like you're connecting things.
Yeah. And kind of after the fact also, when in the very beginning, I think, and you mentioned my grandpa and saying something about penmanship and the birds and things. My grandma, she was very good at drawing. She drew birds, and she had amazing penmanship and was a good artist.
Wow. So that might have been evidence of her. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, goosebumps.
Yeah. How lovely. And that they're all together. And so your brother had a special connection with the dog too that came through?
Yes, that's the other thing too.
I felt him just remind me of that. That's why I brought it up. I just want you to know. I felt he was like talking about the dog.
Note of that, and so I'm glad you brought it up.
Forget the dog.
He's like, he wants you to talk about it.
So glad you brought that up, because I like that was something like I just felt if he came through today, I just knew the dog would be part of it. And so it was a Cocker Spaniel. I think I have a picture of it down here too. And her name was Hope. And she was a dog that he had picked out, and he passed away before she did.
Yeah.
And that was super, super hard for me when she passed away, because it was like the last piece of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got, when I still lived at home, when I was still a kid, got another Cocker Spaniel after her, same color and everything. Her name was Morgan. And then when my husband and I first bought our house before we were married, we got our Cocker Spaniel mix, and we named her Hope. Aww. And like I saw that dog, like we weren't looking for dogs. I didn't plan on getting dogs. I just saw her, and I knew there was just something. And I called my husband because he was at work and I wasn't, and I called him over and over and over and over because I had to know if I could get her. And by the time he saw all his missed calls, he thought something bad could happen. It's oh my gosh, Melissa, I thought something was wrong. We have to talk about this later. And I was like, no, I have to know. Can I get her? And so we ended up getting her and named her Hope. And that dog, like I felt like she was sent to us. Like I felt like
Yeah.
she was like,
absolutely, yeah,
Absolutely.
like she was connected or so, like there was something.
And that was you connected to her, like, and your intuition was like, this is something. And you knew it. That's how it can be sometimes. Do you, like, I know you've been following along for a little bit. You've heard, like, my dog story, right? That's the same thing, right? Where it's like, when I see that dog, like my dad said multiple times, when you see that dog, you will know. Right? And it's just like amazing that that's a similar thing for you. That's how it works sometimes. You just recognize and you know. You've been sent and you're for me and I have to have you.
Yes, and then just me with, just the dogs in general. Like,
your zoo. You would have a zoo if you could.
So much. I just always say, like, I know what they're thinking. Like, there's certain looks and certain things. And, like, I know what they want. I just do.
Yeah. And I think that came through, like, about how connected you are to animals. But even but, like, I feel like children as well. Or, like, people that are, I don't know, like, innocent in some way, like, like there's something with you that just feels really drawn and pulled to that, like you really have a softness and a heart for that.
I do, like I'm just going to save people and just come under my wing and
you are here to be that light and to share all that love. It's just about also having boundaries so that you're not completely draining yourself. Like you can do both. Right? Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. This was a beautiful reading.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I can't thank you enough, Melissa.
Thank you. I can't thank you enough. I feel like I could just keep telling you all these things, like that connected and probably more after the fact, but just a lot that just, that made sense. Yes.
Yeah. And this is like the connection that happens when you do a reading with somebody that you have some level of trust. Obviously, you must have trusted us in some level to do this and to agree to do it live, right? So thank you so much. But what happens is there's such a blending of energy between not only spirit and us, but you. Yeah. And I always feel like I've walked away with a new friend every time I do a reading. It's just such a beautiful connection. So thank you. And one more thing. When a reading comes through as like clearly and fluid as this one has, that's a credit to you. Okay? It honestly is, because Erin and I are always on when we're like sitting and we're ready to go and we set our intention. Spirit's always ready to go. They really are.
They love to talk.
They love to talk. They love to be heard. Think about it. If they're trying to get through to us every single day and they're like, oh my God, they can find, she's going to hear me. Right? But like, it's the person, the client has to be open to it. There has to be a level of trust and openness, because they're not going to give you what you don't understand or that you aren't ready to hear. So it's just a credit to you of how fluid it is. It's nothing to do with like, so that's why like sometimes when I hear people go, oh, I've gone to a medium and she said I can't be read. I don't believe that. I believe what it meant is there was some sort of disconnect between you and the medium, and you didn't feel you could be open in some way, or you weren't ready for the experience. And that's why things weren't coming through. So it's not really like either person's fault. It just wasn't a good fit.
Like finding the right hairdresser almost.
Yeah, like you gotta, it's an act of trust, right?
Trust and, yeah.
But that's why
it might have been before the recording started, but I even said something like, I just had a good feeling about it. Like I just felt like I knew that there was I just knew that it was going to go well. Like good. I knew that it just felt right.
You felt that like support.
Like I very much believe like what's meant to be will be. It happens for a reason.
Yes.
The synchronicities. And I just felt like this was validation of the timing and what was meant to be. And I just felt like this is it.
This is it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you
so much. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
And I get to hear the podcast before it comes out.
That's right.
So this is awesome because I really look forward to that.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Thank you. That means so much to us.
Yeah. And we'll send you a direct link to this video as well. So you can hold on to it and share it if you want. Totally up to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Take good care.
I so appreciate it.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you.
If you like what you're hearing, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and tune in each week as we dish on all things spiritual.